Welcome back everyone to video number 16 in our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So we just got done with our third race of the season at Milan. So we're preparing now for event 4 on the calendar. So we've got a few weeks to go. Looks like we've got a few emails. Let's go ahead and get started with those. The first couple, not interested in. Car condition, of course, they've got to fix the car. Because we drove the cars harder, there's a little bit more to fix. Still is going to take just about a full day for that. And we've got our new gearbox, which is finished. The best thing about this gearbox is that we can almost double the performance of this thing through our additional staff. So I'm very excited about that, but we need to get busy and get this reliability way higher than what it is right now. So let's come in and go ahead and fit these parts. All right, so we come in and we see that right now, well, they're going to have to do some repairs here, but everything is very low coming off the race. We've got to get that increased, and the way to get that increased is to simply have things much closer to 100% at the beginning. You can see here, even these spec parts that were 80% are very low. All right, so who gets the new gearbox? That's going to be the question. Well, if I do autofill, of course, Sergio is going to get that. But the good thing is it allows us to move up everything. So we go from 24 on Rafael's car up to 38. So again, not as huge as we would like for it to be, but still some room there. And you can see that the performance is 38 out of 66. So we've still got some room for improvement there, although not quite as much as what we have on Sergio's now. Okay, so the big thing is going to be to get the reliability up, but let's come back in here and see what we've got for development. So we've got 24 days before our next race, so we've got some time. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run the brakes, and the reason I'm going to do this is because it takes about half the amount of time and about half the amount of money here. So I'm going to go ahead and greatly increase these as much as I can, and then we're going to go from there. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about reliability. So we're going to come in and do, let's see, deceleration. So remember, we're at 68 out of 77. This will jump us up to 98, but it doesn't give us a lot of headroom. And if I jump this up, that'll give us 118. So that will be a huge jump. Let's see if there's anything else. Reliability, 40 to the max. And let's see, we really can't do two of the goods at the same time. So it looks like this may be the best we get. However, let's come back and see. All right, first and foremost, let's take a look at what we have. So we're at 118 out of 127 if we go that route. Okay, if I come back and go this route, so 88 out of 137, but of course it takes longer. It takes 5 additional days to do that. Okay, so 88 out of 137. Okay, I think I'm much better off going this route. It caps our top end a little bit there, but I'm not terribly worried about that. I'm more interested in how quickly we can get this done. 17 days before, so we might be able to get yet another iteration done after that. Maybe. We'll see how it goes. Again, we're trying to get our car as best we can, so let's go ahead and do that. Build the part, 650,000. Absolutely, that's a great investment for us. And so we'll try to get at least one of our parts to not be the worst on the grid. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hit continue here. Car repairs are complete. That's what we're waiting on. And it looks like we got several sponsor messages to get into. But before that, let's go ahead and get our email taken care of and then come back in to improve our parts. Now, of course, we're all about reliability right now. As much as I want to increase the performance, which we're doing, just at a much slower rate, of course, we're really focused on reliability right now. Let's see what needs it above all. So we know the brakes are going to need it because we're doing new iterations here, but we've got brakes are looking good. Okay, so we're at 71 there. I do want to keep it on the grid because remember, we're going to do one more new brakes, at least maybe 2 before our next race. but our reliability is going to suffer for that. So I do want to keep this on there because 71%, we'll increase that. That sounds fine. Then we've got our good engine there at 71% and then at 80%. So we're good there. I do want to continue increasing that because I'm not sure exactly how long we're going to keep these engines. So we want to make sure they're reliable. Then we get into our two gearboxes. Okay, so we've got 63 and, oh, okay. So why do we have, let's see, the average one we want to keep on there, obviously. Okay, but then the original one we do not want on there. We want the new one on there. So we want to increase it from 40. Now you can see 194 days after the race. That's not really what we're concerned with right now because they'll continue to increase and we'll see how much they can increase before the next race. But we really need 40% is just no good at all. It kills us with time in the pits. Okay, so with that in mind, let's come over and take a look at our sponsors. So we've got a couple of slots that need filled. Let's go ahead and take a look at our fixed payment sponsors on the right side and see what we've got. And it doesn't appear to be much of really a decision to make here. We can see that these two options, $180,000 per race, you know, a little bit of upfront money. Of course, the $1 million is nice upfront money, but neither one of these hold a candle to the very first option. And that's actually interesting that they would throw that option in there like that. I mean, that's essentially, it's just a little bit under 600,000 per race, which these others just simply can't touch. So plus it gives us the huge amount up front. And okay, so we've got a decision to make here based on this, but we'll come back to that momentarily because now we've got our race bonus sponsor. So here we've got 4 races left, and if we finish 4th or above, we get this bonus. 10th or above gives us this bonus. So now, what do we have here? Well, as we go ahead and compare these, they both basically want us to win. You know, we've got 2nd place here, but 1st and 1st. So really, it's going to come down to the upfront money for me. Okay, because I mean, I can't plan on winning any races anytime soon. That is for sure. So here, upfront money, I mean, it's great. It gives us the highest bonus for winning whenever that happens, if we're able to get another victory. But at the same time, over the next 5 races, can I count on a victory? No. So this upfront money is way too low. So I'm left with 2 options. And for me, there's really no decision here very much because finished 2nd, but the upfront money is huge. So we're going to go ahead and accept this offer. And this will go a long way. Now we're at 9.4 million. Now we want to continue to increase our car. And the way we can do that is through our HQ. Okay, so we've come in to upgrade. Now, the design center, yes, I'm very interested in that, but not as much as I am some other things. Now, 15 million, long time before we're going to be able to unlock that. But if we come in here and look at our 2 new buildings, it really comes down to one of 2 buildings for me right now. Okay, and that is, do we want to go telemetry and unlock gearbox development and allow drivers to work on consistency and smoothness, or do we want to come in and work on engines and also allow the drivers to work on their cornering and overtaking? This is a tough one for me because I really want to do the test track, but it's more money, a lot more money. So in this case, it's where do you think the biggest bang for the buck is? And I think the biggest bang for the buck right now for us is the telemetry center. As much as I want to work on those engines, I think the biggest bang for the buck is the telemetry. And you can see it takes a little bit less time to work on. So we're going to go ahead and come in and build that. This is going to be huge for us. It's going to take 20 weeks to build and a lot of money, but that's okay. That's what we got money for, is so we can spend it to improve. So they'll get under construction with that. Busy working on car improvements. And let's go ahead and fast forward. Looks like we've got, let's see, we've got an email here. Okay, he wants you to build new brakes for the next season. Can you make sure that I get those before? So actually, this is pretty good. This is, you know, we can hurt his morale a little bit. We're actually going to give him some new brakes. All right, so we'll go ahead with that. because I definitely plan on giving him some new brakes. This really opens up things with the new money that we're able to open up the HQ. And see, we get a scouting report done, and then the new brakes will be coming in, and then we'll have a decision to make on what to do from there. Okay, come in, scouting report. Let's see. Ooh, one of the weakest drivers potential is good. Okay, let's head and see what we've got. Oh, wow. But here we go. Let's see what we've got. Our first available pay driver. Let's see, we'll pay you 200 that they're involved in, 50%. So it looks like we could go ahead and get a little bit of extra money here because they're not going to be involved in any race. And if they involved in a practice session, wow, that is no good, because we're not going to allow them to be involved in practice at all. We just can't, we can't have that. Yeah, that's not good enough. So we can't have that. I would love to have them as my third driver. In fact, that's what we're going to go ahead and do. But I'm going to really make a low offer here because, okay, you're going to be the reserve driver. And let's see, let's go ahead and we're going to offer you the bottom, and we're going to see what we get. And we'll offer you, prefer a long-term contract. Probably will end up going that route if I have to, but it's just not that much money. Okay, we'll offer you basically the minimum because I really don't care a whole lot if I don't. This, okay, so nothing is very important, it doesn't seem to him. Okay, let's go ahead and send that over and see what he thinks there. All right, so we've got to fit the new parts. All right, so you got new brakes, which are at the top. So you can see a huge improvement there. Autofill, now he's going to get the brakes. Yes, that means Sergio's not going to be happy, but he'll just have to get over that. We'll see how that goes because now I'm going to want to make sure that we can get this 40% increased before the next race, which means that we need to come in and improve parts. And let's see, come up to our brakes. Let's go ahead and let's see, we've got brakes here at 72%. That's these. Okay, we want to keep this. Let's see, gearbox, the new gearbox, which is here, and at 50. So we're at 60% there. And what about the other gearbox? We are at 42%. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And we are going to add in this one. So it won't quite make it, to maxed out before the next race, which is in 16 days, but it should get us above 40 for sure. Okay, let's come in and get rid of that email. So now what we can do is design a new part, and I'm going to go brakes again. Okay, we can't quite get to the grate, and the reason why we can't get to the grate right now is because we don't have the building unlocked to get there. So we need to get that unlocked in order to really get some exceptional performance there. All right, we're going to come back in here. We're going to go same thing here, 118 out of 127. And so it'll be done 9 days before the race. That's tremendous. And we're going to go ahead and let's see. It says we have an empty component spot. Oh, we have an extra one. Okay, because this is our next iteration. I almost missed that. This will enable us to come in either and do a huge increase in reliability, which I like, but it hurts our top end a little bit. Or I can come in and keep the same reliability and get some increased performance. It's actually a toss-up to me because reliability is going to suffer, but long-term 167, is that going to be better than 117? Yes, it is. So I'm going to go that route because I may not come back around to work on brakes again for quite a while, maybe for the rest of the season. So this number is very important to me, and we'll just have to deal with the decreased reliability for the time being. Okay, so we got that part development underway. Let's come in under scouting because I think I've got an empty slot there. All right, let's come down and remember, I don't want to scout any drivers that are already under contract. So we're going to go ahead and scout here. Okay, and let's continue. All right, so we got another scouting report coming up. All right, let's see what that entails. Let's see, a low quality driver, not much potential. And first lap panic. Wow, that is no good. This driver is a pay driver though. Okay, so it looks like, the 258,000, so not a lot, but we'll see how these go over time. Okay, so let's go ahead and let them run the top tier events. And we don't care about that. So we'll come back here and go ahead and hit continue once again. All right, contract proposal. So we're about to hear from this. Interesting. Let's go back. Let's see what he had to say. All right, so he's not very happy at all about this, and that's not really, he's insulted, which is, all right, he's delighted about his status, which means, he basically just doesn't care. And neutral here about the contract length, which I don't want to really extend that because I may need to get rid of him and I don't want a huge buyout. They're delighted about the sign-on bonus, so he doesn't expect much. So we're going to give this one more shot. Let's go up to 38,000. Let's see, 42. Yeah, I mean, anything in here should be fine because this isn't going to hurt our final numbers very much at all. So we're going to go ahead and give it a final shot with 50,000 here. And again, this is just a test for us to see how this works out with a pay driver and see if we get any additional money for that. And okay, we'll go ahead and continue that. And I have no idea. Hopefully we can get, if we're able to sign him, hopefully we can get some money just from having him on the roster, even if he doesn't compete in practice or whatever. But we'll find out. Okay, let's go ahead and continue there. Okay, we're now at the beginning of a month, so it automatically stops. All right, performance work is complete. Wow, that was interesting. That is, let's autofill that. So we're going to work on a couple of parts there, particularly this one. That's going to be huge. All right, so our gearbox, not particularly worried too much about that. Let's take a look and see what other parts that we can increase. You can see over here we've gone from 40 to 43, and now we're up to 45 here. So we're moving right along, just not near as much as what I would hope for. All right, so let's see, is there anything else that we can work on? Let's see, there's no improvement to be had here for the engine on either one of them. We're as good as we can get there. Reliability is looking pretty good as well. Okay, brakes, we've got 118 out of 127, that's here. Nothing else we can do there. So it looks like we're kind of stuck on performance improvements. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. I mean, there's really no reason to even work on those, that's for sure. Okay, because those don't help us at all. And we'll continue our work here. And we've got the second tier series there. Scouting reports would be one of the top drivers. All right, so she would be one of the top drivers. Let's take a look at her. Looks like she's racing trucks, so very good. Marketability is not good at all. Wow, excellent braking, overtaking. So not bad at all. But again, that marketability is bad, even though we're at 3.5 out of 4.5. So a very good driver that I would like to have, but we just don't need a top end driver just yet. You see, she's been in the Tier 2 series, couple of podiums. Yeah, so not bad. I'm not actually sure why they would get rid of her. That, I guess, lets you know how strong that series is. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on through here. And So now we've got our new brakes once again are ready to go. Okay, they're letting us know our build is ready. And let's come in and fit these parts. Okay, so our new parts, you can see we're pretty close here on these numbers. Obviously, 167 top end there, 127 there. So a huge difference on top end. Reliability is going to be very bad. All right, so let's come back out of that. Let's see, autofill, and take care of that just in case. Design our new parts. Actually, first we want to come in and improve parts, and what we want to do is exchange out the brakes. All right, so we've got brakes there, which are at 74. Let's go ahead and add these in. Not a whole lot of time, as you can see here, to increase that. So we're going to have to fix these at our pit stop, but let's go ahead and autofill here, and you can see we're going to start work there on the brakes. And now we come back out and we're ready to design. We've got 3.4 million. So let's go ahead and let's see, what do we want to work on? Do we want to go another gearbox, or do we want to work on engine? Actually, not sure that it's going to make a whole lot of difference for us right now. Let's see what we can get on top end engine. Okay, so again, red zone, we could dramatically decrease that. So we could go here and 68. Let's see, 40 on the build time. That's huge. 78 for 102. And again, want to stay away from this for the risk level, even though it's still very low. Another 40 to the max, 142. Okay, I like that. Again, low reliability. It's going to be done 23 days after the race, so it's going to be quite a while for that. But I like the fact that we can get that top end at 142. So we're going to spend about 1.75. Okay, and let's go ahead and build that. So again, we're thinking everything we're building is thinking about the future. I know it's not going to yield immediate dividends for us, but it definitely should help us going forward. All right, so we're ready for our next race, it looks like. Let's go ahead and set things up. Again, 10th or above is what we're shooting for, including bonuses. We could get there, or 453,000 if we don't make that. Let's go ahead and fit the parts. Everything should be where we want it. All right, we're content there. Except for, of course, Sergio. He's always unhappy. Okay, so I believe at this point, we're ready to race. We just finished up our practice session, and as you can see, we had great results as far as our setups go. Let's take a quick look at the setups for each of the cars. They are very similar, but a little bit different. We're at 98%, you can see on the balance for the setup, so I'm not really wanting to change anything. I did swap out, so I did a longer stint there with the super softs, but as you can see, it's really wearing very quickly. So I'm going to start the race on soft tires. I feel like that's probably our best option. The biggest troubling thing I have right now, other than the reliability of our car and the fact that we're going to have to spend more time in the pits, which is going to kill our finishing position in all likelihood, is the fact that we're running 19 laps and we can only run 8, maybe stretch that to 9. But you can see if I run 9 and 9, that only gets me up to 18. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and have Sergio run a different strategy. Okay, and because of that, let's go ahead and go that route. And what I'm going to do is, because I don't think I can make it on one stop here. I think that's pretty much out of the question. So I'm going to change up his driver strategy to conserve and also low. So he's going to be on the soft tires, and we're going to conserve as much as we possibly can with him. If we come back into setup, You can see Raphael, great setup. Also 98%. So I'm not, likely to really want to mess with that very much. But our tire choice, again, I don't think we can make it on one stop. So I'm going to have him actually run the super softs, and I'm going to have him go at it. I'm going to have him run as hard as he can, and we're going to see what we do. I'm not particularly excited about that, but let's go ahead and run this down to 5 laps. That's going to put us running out of fuel about when everybody else does, but it's going to enable us to pick up a little bit of lap time, hopefully. And let's see, if we do that, that'll give us 5 laps of fuel. I'll tell you what, I want to go 6 laps. So if I can make it 5 laps on fuel, that'll be great. And I'm just going to try to run the same strategy. And this is going to be a good barometer for us to see, I know we have the worst car on the grid, but it's going to be a good barometer for us to see just how fast we can be whenever we run the same strategy as everybody else. Okay, so I'm going to do 6 laps there. So let's go ahead and confirm that. His driver's strategy is going to be on, let's see, let's go high there. I don't want to push these tires any more than I have to, but I'm going to start out. We're going to push them. We're going to see how that works. All right, remember, we have to finish 10th or above, and I've got my doubts about this race. So let's go ahead and get started and see what we can do. With our split strategy, we got 1 on soft tires, 1 on super softs. And let's see what we've got. So I'm going to be watching the fuel mostly for Sergio, because if we can make this on 1 fuel stop, then that will be great. But I'm not going to hold my breath about that. Remember, he's conserving, so I'm going to expect him to fall back through the field. In the meantime, I need Rodriguez to really push. Okay, he's back to 16. You can see there's just so many cars in this short area here. All right, so we got 18 laps remaining. And boy, he cannot keep up with the other cars. 16th right now is the best we can do. You see Sergio back here in 18th. All right, so we're attacking. Okay, let's go ahead and calm this down a little bit, because the tire wear will be huge. Already you can see we're at 73% there, 84% there, so a little more than 10% difference in tire wear. Of course, we got different compounds there, so that plays a part. All right, so we're anywhere from 12th to about 15th here. It looks like we're going to run. Not good. All right, so pit stops are starting. So a couple of people hit the pits there. We're going to want to hit the pits with Rodriguez in about probably another lap. We're going to run 1 more lap, hopefully. See, looks like tire wear will take it. And yeah, I think we're okay there. All right, so now we're going to set up. As you can see, pit stops are continuing. Let's go ahead and have him run a stint on soft tires. You can see 7 to 9 versus 10 to 12. And let's see, I tell you what, let's go ahead and keep him on super softs for now. And let's go ahead and fill him up with fuel, because we're going to need to do that in order to make it to the end, I think, on a 2-stop strategy. All right, part condition. Let's see, let's go ahead and fix this one right now. That may be the only one we're going to need to fix, but we're going to have to do that, I think. Okay, and let's go ahead and have him come in. Oh, and we got safety car. Okay, so with a safety car, that's going to mess up everything. Okay, we've already got 1 driver coming in. Now we're going to have to put, do we keep 1 out and bring 1 in and try to stay with our strategy? An excellent question. Let's actually mix it up. Let's go ahead and have them both come in, but let's go ahead and have them come in 1 lap apart, and we'll see how that works out, because I know I need Rodriguez to come in because of fuel. And let's go ahead and have him conserve a little bit more. And then we're going to go ahead and have Sergio. I really don't want him to come in, but what this will enable us to do is put him on another set of soft tires and go ahead and fill up full of fuel. And then our final pit stop can be a little bit easier. All right, so there we are. This will put us toward the back of the grid, but all right, conserve your tires and conserve here while we're under the safety car. Won't matter as much for Sergio because he's going to be coming in to the pit lane, but for Rodriguez, it will make a difference. All right, so here comes Sergio. Okay, getting the much needed repairs done. Again, this is what cost us so much time. Okay, so he drops to 19th. All right, so we've got a little over half a lap left until the green, and whenever that happens, I will want to continue to conserve here for Sergio. And again, we're going for a conservative strategy, not so much for fuel at this point. All right, here we go. We're getting ready to go. Let's go ahead and go back to neutral and medium here. In fact, go ahead and push. All right, Rodriguez up to 13th, but again, everything is so close there, and our car just isn't up to speed. Now we're back to 14th, and look like we're about to be 15th. All right, so pushing is not helping us out. So let's go back to neutral, try to save a little bit of fuel. Yeah, our cars, you can see, just are not up to par here. Wow. Rafael is on the super softs, but even he's falling back through the field, so Sergio got by him. So things are just not well with these cars. They're just not where they need to be. But again, we've already got one upgraded factory, which is helping us with our reliability and performance. And we're also now working on a building for our gearbox. So things are looking up for the future. But for right now, we're just having to struggle our way through it until we can get reliability increased and also our performance increased a little bit more. Okay, now we're running at 13th and 16th. All right, let's see how we're doing on fuel. Both of them looks like they're doing good. And unfortunately now Sergio is falling back through the field and Rafael has gotten past him. So it's really touch and go. All right, now we've got pit stops going, so now we're in 6th and 13th. Unfortunately, I think that's going to be very short-lived. You can see the green box there indicates they're coming into the pits. All right, we're not planning on making any more condition upgrades to fix anything. We're going to have to deal with what we've got unless something is really bad. Okay. So now it's ready for our final pit stop, and I'm going to have to go to the soft tires. We're just, the wear and everything, I don't know that we're going to have, let's see, is it 7 to 9? We're going to have about 6 laps left. So yeah, I guess we're okay. That's not as bad as I thought. We're going to keep that there. We're going to have to fill up as full of fuel as we can because I plan on having him push, so we're going to need that extra fuel. Part condition, wow, this is bad. So not good there, but we don't have time to really fix it right now. Okay, so we're up to 4th, and he's running good. You can see his pace is very good. If you look at the bottom here, pace is good. Let's see how the pit stop goes. All right, our time on pit lane, 24, 28, 29, 31, so not great. All right, now we'll take a look at Sergio here. Okay, go ahead and have him take off there. And we're going to have Sergio come in next time by and actually put on a set of super softs because he's going to have fewer laps left to go. And we are going to have him put a little bit of extra fuel in there again so we can push Parts not doing good. You can see we're right on the edge of maybe having a part or two break. But again, this is sort of where we are right now. And everybody streams by. All right, so it looks like Raphael is going to be our best bet. All right, so we're having him push. He is in 15th right now and 16th now, as you can see the car just blazed right by him. So it's not looking great. It's picking up a couple of spots here. Hopefully some other folks will either come into the pits or have some trouble and we can move up a few spots. Remember, we need to get into 10th if at all possible. And yeah, this is why I'm not pushing too much, is because as much as I would love to push him and have him be very aggressive on strategy, I really can't afford it right now because his parts are on the verge of breaking as is. All right, let's go ahead and have him pick up. First and foremost, we need him to finish the race. Even if it's just in 13th and 18th, we need him to finish as good as they possibly can. So right now we see we got 13th and 18th coming into only a couple laps to go, coming into the, a couple laps to go now. I was afraid that might have been the final lap. We've moved up to 12th. See if we can't pick up a couple of more spots. Nope, looks like, actually, I'm afraid the parts may, I'm afraid that he's about to lose this. So we're going to have to tune him down and have him conserve. And hopefully we can just finish this race. Man, you can see, 11th place is right there in front of us. But, and 10th is just in front of that. But we just don't have the ability to push right now. So we're up to 11th. And that's as far as we could get. So, very close on the finishing order, but again, just not quite as much as we needed. We pushed as much as our car would allow us, but at the end of the day, just was not enough. Even with us having fewer pit stops than some of these other cars in front of us, it just wasn't to be. Our car just simply isn't up to speed to where we can compete. But again, for the future, we're working on that. We're working on some buildings in our HQ. We're working on developing new parts. So things are not bad. As much as I really want to run higher than we are now, you can see we're slipping back a little bit in the driver's standings. And of course, that means that we're also slipping in the team standings. But this was just not a good track for us because we couldn't run our strategy here. And hopefully, future tracks will be more kind to our fuel strategy proposition and allow us to get better finishing positions. Morale, you can see here. Morale still not good for Sergio, but it is a little bit increased. But now morale is very good for Raphael at 100% and doing great here in the relationship with his mechanic, 75, which seems to be maxed out with Sergio based on his personality traits, which again, as we mentioned before, he's a bit of a diva, so not great there. We're going to lose a little bit of happiness here, down to 82%, and a little bit of marketability, but not too bad. We still made $453,000, not as much as we wanted to make, but we still did make money, and this will bring us into back to our home screen. So with that being said, I really appreciate you joining me for this video in our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager.